guys, how are you? Whew. Little out of breath. Just got back from a cycle ride. So yeah, it's just knackered me out completely because I'm not used to it at all now. So I'm just getting back into my exercising. I kind of gave up at the end of last year. Big mistake, because it's really taking a toll on me. I'm trying to cycle and my legs are just like not having it at all, and I need to push myself through it. But yeah, I'll get there. Anyway, hope you're all doing well. Hope you're having a good time and your week's gone well so far. It's Friday. Hey. Alright, let's crack on, guys. Got a few questions this week, so let's see what we got. And the first question comes from Shock16, Adam. Thank you, Adam. And Adam's question is, what would you like to see at E3 2015? Well, obviously the main thing is Star Fox. I want to see a demo of Star Fox. I'm really hoping to give us that in the Nintendo presentation. Fingers crossed for that. Besides that, I want to see more great Nintendo games announced for 2016, and any secret games they've hidden that are coming out in 2015 would be fantastic as well, but the lineup's really strong as it is. Sony, I want to see more of Uncharted 4 because it just looks amazing. Most importantly from Sony though, I want to hear from Quantic Dream. I want to know what they're doing because I'm a massive fan of that studio. You know, I love Fahrenheit, love Heavy Rain, not so much Beyond. Good game, but not as good as Heavy Rain to me. So yeah, I really want to see what their next project's going to be, because we saw that demo before with the Wizard, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's where the game's going to go. It could go any direction, you just don't know with them. But I'm really excited to see what they're going to do. Microsoft, I just want to see them come out and give us more games, basically, just announce more exclusive titles for the Xbox One, because they seem to be getting on the right track, sort of. So looking forward to seeing more for them. I'm also excited to see if Microsoft do announce the rumoured VR headset as well, because that's something I'm interested in. Because I didn't know if they would actually go and jump into that arena, or if they were just going to wait on the sidelines and see what happens with Sony and obviously the Morpheus as well. So that's really interesting to read that there is rumours, well there have been apparently rumours going around for quite a while that they're working on something. So yeah, those are the main things I want to see anyway, mate. Okay. Okay, and my tablet's decided to cock up the whole thing and remove half the comments. Oh, bloody thing, these mobile versions are crap, you know that. Right, here we go, it's better. Try again. Next questions are from Super Nintendo, so thank you very much. And his first question is, what's the worst experience you've had buying online, e.g. games or consoles from eBay, being in worse condition than originally advertised, bad packaging? One that always comes to mind I've spoken about before was years ago when I started collecting American SNES games, and I bought Star Fox from a UK seller, and it arrived and it absolutely stank of cigarettes. I mean, it was disgusting, it was absolutely vile. I mean, I'm someone who absolutely detests smoking anyway, I can't stand it, it's one of my major pet peeves, but it really got on my tits, and I had to have it literally for like about 2 days. I had it by the window with the window wide open, just letting it air out and get the smell out. It was absolutely disgusting. I had one on my YouTube channel years ago when it arrived in a black bin bag, which was just hilarious. I've got that, I think it's called like the worst eBay packaging ever or something ridiculous for the title, but yeah, that was just beyond ridiculous. It's usually always UK people because they just can't package things and they don't accurately describe them in the auctions, which is the biggest problem as well. So yeah, those are two that I can remember anyway. Are there any games that you enjoyed a lot on the American Super Nintendo, but switching to the since switching to the Super Famicom, you found weren't released in Japan, or perhaps were but are not a lot more expensive? Yeah. So basically, any games I played on the American one I enjoyed that are not available in Japan. So obviously, Super Toy-Con is the main one, unfortunately. You can get it in Japan. Unfortunately, it is really, really expensive. I've seen one copy and I think it was like 300 quid or something. I was like, no way. Super Toy-Con 2 is a game I've always wanted, which is only available in America and PAL regions. You can't get it in Japan, which is a pain in the arse. So I will have to get a US copy of that eventually. I'm trying to think. A lot of the time I have the problem with the Japanese games. It's not that it hasn't been released there. You have to try and figure out what it was called in Japan as well. Because there have been a few games where I've suddenly noticed them in the listings when I'm doing a search for newly listed items, and I'll be like, oh, so it was released in Japan. Okay, cool. But I'd say the main one is Toy-Con 2, because I would have loved, if the original Toy-Con wasn't so expensive in Japan, I'd love to have had both games in Japanese. But unfortunately, yeah, the first one's too expensive and the second one doesn't exist, so you've got to pay the American price, which is really around about the same price you're paying for a Japanese version of the first game. So yeah, a bit of a pain in the arse really. Are there any games that you don't think get enough love these days and would like to see make a comeback? Crash Bandicoot, definitely. Obviously we had the original trilogy from Naughty Dog, which to me still stand up extremely well. I was playing number 3 a couple of days ago, as you would have seen on my Twitter feed if you follow me on Twitter, and that game is awesome. All 3 of those games stand up really well, they play well, they look great, they sound great, they're absolutely brilliant games. I've only dabbled with the ones that are on PS2, and that, from what I understand, they weren't much cop because they weren't made by Naughty Dog. And I know that Sony are apparently always looking into coming back with this Crash Bandicoot, always trying to work out if they can get it to work in a modern era. I would love that. I just want a new game. I mean, when I played Knack, to me Knack was like playing an old Crash Bandicoot game or any old PlayStation 1 platformer. It just gave me that real nostalgia trip, and I love Knack. I mean, the media seem to hate the game, but I personally absolutely adore the game. I thought it was fantastic. So yeah, I would love a new Crash Bandicoot. That's the main one. Okay, thank you for the questions, mate. Okay, so the next question is from Dal, Retro Godfather. Absolutely awesome dude, really nice bloke, and a great channel as well, by the way. And he asks, do I have any new retro console purchases planned for this year? Whew, I'm absolutely sweating me nuts off here. And is there a game or console that you would love to own but doubt that you ever will? At the moment, I don't have any planned out. I've got 3 systems I've mentioned before that I'm interested in. That would be the Sega Mark III, the PC Engine, and what was the other one? I can't even remember what it was now. Shit, what was the other one? Those are the main 2. I can't even remember. There's not. I always dabble with the N64 as well. That's always a possibility. I've had it so many bloody times now. In terms of systems that I'll never own, it'd be the Neo Geo. It would be nice to have an AES, but the pricing is just insane. I mean, the console itself is expensive, and then the games, well, we all know the price of the games, so that'll just never happen. And I just can't justify the console because the way I've always looked at it, you can get all the cheaper games that everyone owns, but trying to get the really interesting games on the Neo Geo, you've got to pay wedge, and I ain't got that kind of cash, so that's way out of my realm. But yeah, if I do buy anything, I'm just trying to think. There's another console, and I can't think what it was. Yeah, anyway, the PC Engine and the Mark III Sega, very tempting. I love the Master System anyway, and the Mark III just looked awesome. And you get the FM sound in some of the games as well, which is something I really like the look of. So yeah, possibly those. But I won't say at the moment, no, because I can't afford anything. So. Oh, and of course, no, that's not going to matter because that's a modern console. I was going to say the Xbox One as well, but that's irrelevant. That'll happen at some point. Right, okay, next set of questions from Mr. Hewitt, so thank you very much. And the first question is, you always seem really appreciative of your commenters, and it's great to see. Thanks. And I am. Nearly every commenter gets a thank you, thanks for that kind of thing from you. What do you think of that? Yeah, well, at the end of the day, I think it's only right. I think if people comment on my video, I'll do the best I can to reply. Sometimes people will leave a comment and you can't reply to it because it's just a statement more than anything, like, like nice video or something. And that's alright, because you can kind of say thanks to that. It's a bit basic, but at least you can say thank you. But sometimes people just make an observation, like, like, I really enjoyed that game, and you're like, great. There's not much you can really say more than that. I mean, it's hard to go into a dialogue when you're on the comments, but I always do my best to try and, I've always said that from day one when I started doing YouTube, that I would reply to as many comments as I possibly can, preferably all of them if I can, because I think it's only fair. If you guys are watching the video and you take the time to sit down and write something in response to the video, I really appreciate you doing that. So if you're going to take the time, so am I, and if you're happy and you appreciate me saying thank you, then that's quality. That's it all goes round in a circle, man. We're all good friends here. It might be a nice touch to read out these questions from a Wii U gamepad. Would you consider this? I never even thought about the fact that you can do that. That's a really cool idea. I'll have a look at that. I totally forget that you can do the internet on that. And that was something I really liked when I first had the Wii U as well. Don't know why I forgot about that. Can you see an end to these Q&A videos? I hope not, as I love them. I hope not, mate. It's down to you guys, really. You guys are the ones that ask the questions, so without you asking questions, there ain't no video. So if you lot stop asking questions, then that's when the videos will end. But hopefully it doesn't happen. Hopefully it just continues, because I enjoy doing them. I recently got my first amiibo, Fox McCloud. Brilliant choice to start with. I love it, and the detail, which is odd, as I've never been into figurines before. Won't go full set, but I think I want 3 or 4. How many do you think you'll buy? At the moment, I don't know, because it depends on, I'm absolutely, bloody hell, it's like catching up, it's dripping off now, I don't know what's going on here. Yeah, I don't know, because I don't know how many they're going to release yet. At the moment, I'm just to say, buy the ones I want. The next wave's coming out soon, at the end of this month, and next month as well, there's another couple coming out. I've got like 4 that I want to get. I think there's 3 this month and 1 next month, so it's not too bad. So yeah, I want to get those, and other than that, nothing else has been announced yet. But I'm just literally just going to buy the ones I want, so I don't have a definite number because I don't know. I mean, I've only got so much shelf space anyway, and I might have to double up as well. I've got room to double up on the shelves, which is quite handy. But yeah, we'll wait and see what happens. The current wave of amiibo are focused on Smash Bros. Do you think the focus will turn to other games as time goes on? I hope Star Fox will have associated amiibo, as I would love an Arwing amiibo. So would I. I'd love an Arwing amiibo, and a Peppy, and a Falco, and a Slipper. Yes, they've already said that they are going to be doing that. Miyamoto said recently, actually, that other games are going to be using amiibo. I believe the new Kirby's Rainbow Curse is one that's going to be using it as well. And I'm pretty certain they've said Star Fox is actually going to use amiibo. So yeah, it's all good. I'm so tempted to get Smash Bros. U, so am I. Are you getting it soon? Possibly. Not just yet because I haven't got the cash. I've just bought Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, so I want to delve into that and enjoy that first. The Wii U is my second favourite console of all time, and your coverage of E3 2014 pretty much persuaded me to buy it. What do you think of that? I think that's pretty awesome, mate. Job done. If that video persuaded you to buy one, then that's fantastic, because I was really quite impressed last year. You know, I've been on the downer for the Wii U for quite a while, and I thought they were never going to come back, and then last year they knocked it out of the park with E3. I mean, you saw the video yourself, so you know, if you haven't seen that video, guys, go and watch it. You know, my E3 2014 coverage of Nintendo, I was so chuffed because I just couldn't believe how much good stuff they announced. It was just game after game after game, and that's all I wanted. I was really happy. So yeah, so if it influenced you to buy the machine, that's fantastic, mate, because you're going to have a good year this year. Ellen Page, there we go, as friends. I know this for a while. Ellen Page as friends, or a lifetime supply of free amiibo. Well, I don't know what Ellen Page is like on a personal level, so I'll go with free lifetime amiibos. Yeah, I think that's the best way to go. She could be really nice, but she could be a total bitch, I don't know. So, what is on your wish list for Star Fox? Most important of all is that there's not so much gamepad. They've said that, Miyamoto said that you can do dogfights in the gamepad, but it is optional, you can switch it off, which I'm so grateful for. Because when I first saw the Wii U, I was hyped. I mean, I got totally caught up in all the hype and the media and the marketing from Nintendo and Reggie. And I was like, the gamepad's going to be all... You can go back and watch my videos when I used to talk about it. I've got the gamepad's innovative and it's going to add so much to the game. Bollocks, it didn't really, did it? It really has been underutilised big time. It's mostly for maps and things, and the games that do use it properly, unfortunately, you find yourself just doing that and not looking at the TV, or you're doing that, and that's just not good gameplay. You know, I think most gamers want to sit down with a controller, a massive telly, as big as they can afford, and just sit down and watch that and enjoy it and be interactive with that. So I do find that kind of annoying. I'd rather they didn't do that. All I want is a traditional Star Fox game with beautiful HD graphics, 1080p, 60 frames a second. Not that I give a shit about 60 frames a second, but I think it would be helpful in that game. It'd be quite smooth. But it'd just be nice to just kick back, big ass TV, surround system, just bombing through the skies in your Arwing, blowing the shit out of stuff. As I said, if they want to give us different vehicles like tanks and things like I did in Star Fox 64, or completely new vehicles like helicopters or whatever they decide to come up with, awesome. I'd love that. Just don't make me get out the ship and walk around, because I hate that. I can't stand that. And don't make me constantly have to look at the bloody gamepad. Just make me play the game. Because that way, at least I don't have to use a gamepad if I don't want to. I can just use the Pro Controller, which would be even better. So yeah, that's all I want really. Just a really good classic SNES N64 style Star Fox game. We'll wait and see what happens. Lost my page. There we go. What do you think of Toad Treasure Tracker, and will you be doing the gameplay? I haven't opened it yet. It's sitting on the side because I've been watching Supernatural Season 9 on Blu-ray. So once I finish that, this weekend I'm planning on cracking it open, sitting down with it. I can try and do a gameplay. To be honest, my real problem with is like filming the TVs, and that don't seem to be coming out right lately. The CRT's a pain in the arse to film anyway, and the flat screens, well, I mean I can try this one, I've not tried this one, but I'll try my one downstairs. The living room one, I had tried to do a video of Mario Kart and Mario 3D World, and it didn't come out well at all, so I don't know. If it comes out well, I'll do a video. If not, I won't. So I won't commit just in case. What other Nintendo games and accessories will you buy day one? Mine are Star Fox and Zelda, but waiting a while. Very few games reached my day one purchase list, and I'm surprised Nintendo will release 2 in 2015. The last one purchased was GTA 5, and the previous one I can't remember. It was so long ago. So, I mean, games day one this year, I've got Yoshi's Woolly World on pre-order. I can't pre-order Star Fox because Amazon won't let me, but I will do when they allow it. Splatoon I'm not going to get on day one, I'm going to wait and see. I really want to play it, but I'll wait and see. Kirby's Rainbow Curse, I'm assuming is a full release and not a digital release, so I possibly will get that, but not on release. I'll wait for that one. So yeah, I'd probably say Star Fox and Yoshi are the main ones I want to get this year because they just look awesome. Accessories, there isn't anything that I'm aware of that's coming out, not that I can think of. The only thing that I would be nice to see this year would be the new 3DS, but I'm not going to get involved in handheld gaming because it never ends well with me. Even though it looks absolutely beautiful, and every time I see tweets from people with the new 3DS, it's just like, oh. But no, I'm not going to buy one. But yeah, Star Fox and Yoshi's Woolly World, definitely day one purchases. It'd be really nice if they did a special edition of Star Fox and all with like figures, you know, all the figures and the R-Wing. Probably a bit too much to ask for, but and an art book and all that kind of stuff and the soundtrack. Just go for it. Just make it full on. I don't care. I'll buy it. Right. And the next question is, what Nintendo game are you aiming for 100% on, if any? I know you're not 100% usually. I don't, to be honest, mate. I just play the story and that's it, really. I'm not one of these that goes around doing quests and all that and just getting every little thing done. It just doesn't interest me. I don't know why. I just never have. I mean, I do find it. Certain games, like there's things you have to collect. You can pick things up as you walk around the levels. I'll do that, and I get a bit anal about picking things up, like Uncharted, like the treasure. If I see that, I've got to get to. I've got to figure out how to find it. There was one in Uncharted 2, I think, I've never been able to work out how to get, and it drove me bloody nuts. I can't even remember where about it was. It Uncharted 2? Was it Uncharted 2 or was it Uncharted 1? It might have been the first Uncharted. In fact, I think it was the first Uncharted. I'm trying to think. I always get mixed up with the games. It was where it's a church, I think it is, and you climb through a window, and there's like I think they're rafters, and you have to run across them. And just outside there on the ledge, there's a treasure. And I can never work out how to get to it. It pissed me off. But yeah, I probably won't 100% to be honest, mate. I'm just quite satisfied just to enjoy the game as it is, really. Right, so thank you very much for those questions. Okay. Oh, I hope that's not real. Oh, you haven't asked that many questions. That's mental. Right, okay. Next question is. Next got the questions also from Mr. Hewitt, and the first one is: why haven't Nintendo released GBA games on the Virtual Console? You're asking the wrong person here, mate. I've got no idea. Why haven't they? I mean, they should be on the 3DS really if they're going to do it. That makes sense. Greatest Adventures of a Little Belt Told Cat. No idea because I still haven't looked, so I will do. Okay, next question from the Pop Killer. Why have your videos become so long? They haven't become so long, they've always been long since day one. I think every video I've done has been over 40 minutes, so apologies for that, but there's not much I can do about that, unfortunately, mate. It's dictated by the questions, so... Right, next question's from Sega Sent Me One, who asks, how much time do you actually spend gaming a week? At the moment, not a lot. It's just when I feel it. I don't really have a specific amount of time because it's just whenever I feel the need to play. At the moment, I'm watching a lot of Blu-rays, so I've got a lot of films and TV shows I'm catching up on. Re-watching more than anything. I've been buying the full sets, full seasons, so I'm watching a lot of those. So I've only done a little bit of gaming this week. I've probably done about 5 hours max, maybe, if even that, to be honest. Most of that's been retro. I haven't played any modern gaming at all. So yeah, I mean, if I'm in the mood, then it depends. I mean, if it's like games coming out regular, then obviously I can spend like 10-15 hours a week playing a game, no problem at all. But it just depends really on the time. Is your gaming time more retro than modern? At the moment, yes, because there aren't that many modern games to play. I've just got Toad Treasure Tracker, so that's going to zap up quite a bit of time as I start at the weekend, obviously. But yeah, for the most part, it is retro at the moment. But usually, when the modern games start coming out, it's just split my time between both. You know, the retro is good because you can fill time while you're waiting for the next brand new release, which is quite nice. Which I'm sure most people do anyway. Winners don't do drugs. Yeah, I remember that. Piracy harms consumers as well as legitimate developers, publishers and retailers. If you suspect this product is an unauthorised copy or have any other information about a pirate product, are all pre-intro gaming warnings. They are indeed. But do you remember the guy with glasses on old VHS tapes warning you about the content and its rating? I don't, to be honest. The only one I can think of is the DVD one, which always makes me laugh. When the guy downloads the TV show or the film and pirates it, that's quite funny. But yeah, I don't remember that one, to be honest. Yeah, I remember those like the winners don't do drugs out on the arcade games. Yeah. Is raw talent still a factor in the gaming industry, or is it still all generic talent? While the board of marketing points have gone at the gaming companies to make more of the same. I think it's still raw talent. I mean, you know, look at developers like Quantic Dream and Naughty Dog and Insomniac as well, for that matter. They've got some amazing people working for them. You know, from the art direction to the actual game construction and development. I mean, there's some real talent out there. I don't think anything's too generic. I mean, obviously, you know, you could argue that some developers just knock them out and just, you know, phone it in. But, you know, it's a hard job, man. It's not an easy job to do at all. And I think sometimes people can be a little bit too hard on the developers, because that is a really difficult job. I mean, it's very time consuming and they put a lot of passion into it. And yeah, like maybe sometimes it doesn't always work out, and of course you get broken games, and I still put that down to the publishers more than developers. I think that's just the publishers just pushing them for a date, and they rely on the internet and patches, which is not good for consumers at all, and it's not good for the developers, because then consumers have to go to developers, and it's probably not their fault. So yeah, so I think there's still raw talent there. What's your thought on newer Sonic games? Why is Sega so scared to make an old school Sonic game? Surely you cannot fail more than what's on offer currently. Yeah, I'm not being a massive Sonic guy myself. I'm more Nintendo, but the Sonic games I have played 3D. The Dreamcast games, didn't like the first one at all, Sonic Adventure. Sonic Adventure 2 was alright, but it was a bit weird. It wasn't really a Sonic game. It was just, yeah, a bit strange, but it was okay. I liked it. And what else have I played since then? I mean, I've seen all the others that have come out. Like, I've got Sonic Colors on the Wii, which wasn't that great. I thought it was just average. I played the demo for the one that's on Wii U, which I actually really like the look of that. I've heard that it's not that good, but I actually really like the demo, so I probably will pick it up and try it. But I don't know why they can't just do a traditional one. They don't work in 3D. I think for the most part, Mario transitioned perfectly. Sonic has had a very bumpy road. Just go back to old school. Just do it 2D or 2.5D. You know, beautiful HD graphics, and just give the fans what they like. You know, it's not exactly rocket science, is it? Well, you wouldn't think so anyway. What do you think of Wii U games already becoming a rarity? Really? I didn't even know that. New Luigi U is up at 55 quid. Bloody hell. Pikmin 3 not far behind. I can kind of understand that. I'm pretty sure Wii U Sports is going up too. Well, that's Nintendo, unfortunately. As is always the case with Nintendo their own games, they either plateau and stay at the same bloody price, or they just go through the roof and get silly. And I don't think there's any point, because they're not rare. I mean, I'm sure if you wait and you look around, you can get them. I mean, I don't know Luigi U, because that's like a special thing, wasn't it? But I'm sure that you could probably get a better deal elsewhere. But yeah, unfortunately, Nintendo products always go up in price. People just take the piss, and there ain't nothing you can do about it. It is crap, though. It is when it's a current gen console. It's very annoying, actually. What are you eyeing up lately? The Sega Master System catalogue looks tempting. Oh yeah, relatively cheap, not an overwhelming number of games to collect. Something you would go for. Just remember that third console I was thinking about when Dole asked earlier. It was the AV Famicom. That was the third console I was looking at, because I'm really tempted with that as well, because that's a nice bit of kit. Yeah. At the moment, as I say, the main ones I'd like to own will be a PC Engine, a Mark III Sega, and an AV Famicom. But I haven't really got the space either. I mean, I'd also like to get the Xbox back at some point. I ain't got the space for that, and a 360 as well, but I ain't got the space for that. So that's the only good thing about the way I've got the room now. I'm kind of limited, so I have to be strict with what I buy. I mean, at the moment, I've got the PlayStation 3, PlayStation 2, Super Famicom, Japanese Mega Drive, and the Wii all set up over there. And that's really crowded. So trying to get any more systems in is going to be really difficult. I'll have to pull something out and swap them around, which I don't want to do, because I like to have them set up all the time. But generally, I'm not really eyeing anything at the moment. I'm trying my best to just focus on the Super Famicom, so that when I've got some money, I can just buy the games I want, just keep an eye on them. Because I need to fill them shelves up. I need to get all the games that I need, because they're starting to go up again. Castlevania 4 is like 40 quid, and some of the other games are getting up there. I mean, obviously things like Demon's Crest and Final Fight Tough are just expensive anyway, so it is what it is. But yeah, I haven't got my eye on anything at the moment, just purely just the finances. I'm trying my best not to look and not spend any money. we'll see how that goes. But was the N64 going to be called the Ultra 64 before? And would you prefer this name? Apparently so, that was the original development name for it, wasn't it? I actually prefer that. I think it's really cool. Obviously you can say it sounds a bit cheesy, but I kind of like it, like the Ultra 64. It just sounds badass, and it would, it was like, we've got the most powerful system, we're going to kick the shit out of Sony. It didn't work out that way, obviously, but but yeah, I kind of like it. I think it's better than the N64 sounds good now because we're used to it, and the Nintendo 64 sounds nice, but the Ultra 64 sounds better. Yeah, just like the Dolphin would have sounded cooler. Yeah, that was a cool name. What was it? The Wii, the Dolphin for the GameCube. The Wii was the Revolution, wasn't it? Which, to be fair, I still think I stand by the fact that Nintendo Revolution was a bloody great name. They should have kept that. The Wii thing. Yeah, never been a big fan of the Wii name. Okay, can you complete Street Fighter 2 in one credit on 4 stars with Ryu? No. When I was a teenager, yeah, I probably could have, and I don't know how many stars I had it on back in the day, but I remember sitting down recording it on VHS and I clocked it in one go. I can't do that anymore. I'm just not good enough. And I have days now. I have good days and bad days. If I'm on a good day, I can get pretty far. I can usually get through to probably Sagat. And if I'm really having a good day, I'll get through to Bite. Somebody will kick the shit out of me and I'll die. On a bad day, I'm lucky if I can get anywhere near the bosses. I mean, generally, I'll come up against Ken and he'll just beat the hell out of me. Yeah, it all depends on the day really, but I'm just not as good as I used to be. Mainly because when I was a teenager I was playing it daily. Nowadays I don't play it now and again, just dip in and out, so I'm not dedicating enough time to it, and that's why my skills aren't there. So I think if I put the time in, yeah, I could probably do it. Okay, if you were say 8 years old now in this current generation, would your parents let you play 18 rated games? Probably, yeah. It's a bit, I don't know, because obviously the games nowadays, the 18 games now are extremely violent, just like they were back when we were kids. It's just that the graphics are obviously a lot more photorealistic now, so it's a lot more apparent, the violence. The only perspective I can go for is when I was a kid, and obviously in the 80s, I was growing up and I got to watch all the violent films. I got to watch RoboCop, all the Arnold Schwarzenegger films, the Slice Alone films, Jean-Claude Van Damme, just anything that came out, anything my dad watched basically, I watched. And the same with gaming, there was no restrictions. I could play whatever I wanted to play, and it never affected me because I was always made aware that it wasn't real. It was just entertainment, and my parents did a good job bringing me up, I think. So it never really affected me in any way, thank God, psychologically or nothing like that. It's surprising because I think most of my generation, we probably were all exposed to all of that material, and it hasn't really done us any harm. I mean, there always going to be exceptions to the rule, obviously. But I think for the most part, most of us have grown up to be pretty stable adults, and we're not psychopathic killers. Unfortunately, the modern day stuff, the content that you're getting in games like Grand Theft Auto and some of the horror-based games, then yes, I wouldn't allow an 8-year-old kid to play those because that would be completely irresponsible. I think it's a different time, and it is basically down to the graphics and the content. I think they are a lot more brutal as well. I know we're a lot desensitised to it a lot more these days. I know I am, and I don't really pay attention to most of the violence. It's just like, it is what it is and that's it. But I think if you're a kid and you're playing something like that or watching a film, then no, it's not appropriate at all. You have to be responsible as an adult, because I mean, come on, the stuff in Grand Theft Auto is not appropriate for a child, like drug abuse, sex, the level of violence that's involved in that game. I don't want my kid to grow up thinking it's perfectly fine to just shoot someone in the head. I mean, obviously they're not going to go and do it in reality, but the desensitisation thing is a problem, I think, in society, is that we just have a disconnect between the reality of violence, and that's something that really, needs to be addressed. But that's a deep conversation, isn't it? That could go far. But yeah, I think my parents probably would have, but because of the graphics, they may have had second thoughts. They're quite responsible, my parents, so yeah, I don't know. I mean, I know my dad now, he looks at a lot of games now, and even he'll look at them, and he's pretty easy going with most things, and he'll be like, that's just not appropriate. And I'm like, yeah, but you don't understand because you don't play them, and that's usually the argument, isn't it? But of course, he has got a point as well. Do you buy strategy guides? Unfortunately not, no. It's not something I've ever really gotten into. I did get tempted with the Brady Games one for Uncharted 2, but that was the only one really, just because I love the game and the artwork. But generally, as a rule, no, I don't. have you bought any old gaming related books, magazines? If so, any to recommend? Yeah, I've got a load of Super Play magazines, which are absolutely awesome for Super Nintendo. I've got some Nintendo magazine system magazines, which I love. I don't think I've got any Mean Machines anymore. I used to buy those because I love them. And also another great magazine from back in the day was obviously Computer and Video Games CMVG, which was like my Bible back in the 80s. So that was a great magazine to buy. So yeah, I recommend any of those. And obviously for Sega, so I got Mean Machine Sega, which is a fantastic magazine. So yeah, which you probably know about that one anyway. Okay, and finally, ever had a game that was banned in the UK in your possession? I had Thrill Kill for the PS1. That's exactly the game I was going to say. I had Thrill Kill as well. Belladonna, she was awesome. I absolutely love Thrill Kill. When they repackaged it as Wu-Tang Taste of Pain, it just lost all its appeal. It was just such a fun game. It's just such a shame it got banned, because I remember you got like the midgets on stilts, and you got I remember right, Belladonna. I remember right, she was the one that was wearing the nurse's outfit, and she got the cattle prod, and she'd ram it down the throat and electrify them. It was awesome. I mean, it looks terrible when you look at it on the internet now. You look at it on YouTube and it looks really bad graphically. But man, I had a lot of fun playing that game. Yeah, Thrill Kill was quality. I wish they would re-release that now, because it's not that bad now compared to most games that we get. So yeah, that is a quality title. I love Thrill Kill, man. Yeah, I won't be getting there. Oh, thank you very much, mate. And he's just telling me how much you like my channel. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. That's awesome. Right, next set of questions from, if it, screen's going weird, it keeps refreshing itself. Muzz247365, so thank you very much, and Happy New Year to you as well. First question is, how many mince pies did you eat exactly? Not many this year. I was quite good. I know I got through 2 packs that I bought myself, so that was like 12. I had several at my parents', so probably only about maybe 20, 30. Not too many this year. I was a little bit better than normal. Did you have a favourite present this Christmas? No, I never do, to be honest. I'm just grateful for anything I get, and as you seen in the video, I got some really cool shit, and I was really chuffed with what I got. I was not expecting to get all those gifts. You know, I mean, if the way I look at it, even if I only got one amiibo and that was the end of it, I'd be happy. Just the fact that someone's had, you know, my parents have thought about me and gone, yeah, I want to buy them something for Christmas, because I'm 37 now. I'm not exactly young anymore, so it's like you don't expect to get major presents at this age, and I'm very lucky in that respect. What was your opinion of the holiday TV shows? Seemed to me like they're a very weak effort this time. Yeah, I see what you mean there. Sorry, I thought you meant like, what was her bleeding name? Judy's Charmers and all that, but you don't, you mean like the Christmas holiday shows? I thought it was a bit random. Yeah, to be fair, there wasn't a whole lot on. It was a bit crap over Christmas. What was I trying to... I watched the... what was that bloody film? Was it Eagles, Into the Eagle's Nest or something with my dad, with Michael Caine, which was really strange to watch. And other than that, it was just a lot of like the usual kind of crap they have over Christmas, where it's looking back at celebrities and people I've never heard of and don't care about and have no interest in, and the shocking moments of the year, which quite frankly were not that shocking. It was just a bunch of dickheads being stupid. Yeah, that was about it really. There wasn't any real proper shows that I could see anyway. At least I can't even think of anything that I watched over Christmas that except for the obvious Doctor Who, which was just awesome, because Doctor Who is brilliant every time. I love the new Doctor Who. So yeah, Doctor Who was probably the only real jewel in the crown. And then New Year, we had Jules Holland's Hootenanny, which is always my favourite part of New Year's Eve. So yeah, that was it really. So yeah, UK TV is still crap, and Owen, if you're watching, it is crap. I know we disagree on the types of programmes that we watch, but yeah, general British TV is shite. Which console do you think you will spend most time with in 2015? I would assume the Wii U at this moment, because like you got Yoshi's Woolly World, Treasure Track has just come out, you've got Star Fox, Splatoon, Kirby's Rainbow Curse, possibly Zelda if I can get into it, because I really want to try that because it looks so good. And then of course, I don't know what's coming on PlayStation 4 because I don't have an Xbox One anymore, and I will be getting an Xbox One at the end of the year because Tomb Raider's coming out and I have to get that, so I'll be buying Tomb Raider. Hopefully, I think Quantum Break, has that been put back to 2016 now? I'm not sure, I think it has. I don't think it's coming out in 2015 anymore, I'll have to check that. If it is, brilliant, I really want to play that because Remedy are awesome. If not, I'll get it in 2016. But I will get Sunset Overdrive as well because I really want to play that because that looks awesome. I've heard some good things about that. PS4, Uncharted 4, big one. and any cross-platform games that come out this year, which quite frankly, I can't even think of anything that's actually coming out this year that really has me interested. So I'd probably say the Wii U is going to be the dominant console for me this year, modern console anyway. Which one game are you most looking forward to? Star Fox. Hands down. Above even Uncharted 4, it's going to be Star Fox, because I've wanted the Star Fox game for such a long time. Now we're finally getting one. I don't want to get too hyped, because I don't want to be let down. I don't want to get to E3 and be like, oh, shit. You know, I want to be really, really pumped and chuffed at E3, but if I get too hyped, I know I'm going to let myself down. So I'd rather just wait and see, keep my expectations low, and then if it does come out at E3 and it's amazing, I'll be like, yes. I mean, for God's sake, they might not even show us anything at E3 knowing Nintendo. They might just hold back, or they might give us like a little teaser trailer just to really piss us off. I'm hoping they don't, and they give us a full-on gameplay. A bit like they did with Zelda earlier in the year, where they're sitting there with a TV showing it and stuff. That'd be really cool. But a proper demo would be good. And unfortunately, Nintendo, they don't do their stage presentations anymore, which is a shame, because I would love to have seen an on-stage demo of Star Fox. That would have been absolutely fantastic. But you know, the Nintendo Minute and the Nintendo Directs work really well, and I really liked the Nintendo Direct last year when you went to the treehouse for like, Christ, I don't know how many hours they did that for, but it was something like ridiculous, like 7 or 8 hours every day. It was just awesome. So yeah, I hope we get more of that this year. So it was really good. Do you think there will be any video game related shocks this year, i.e. a new console from Sega? Yeah, I think everyone's really hoping for that. It's never going to happen. Nintendo buying Capcom, I wish they would. Or a new Final Fight game. Jesus, that would be awesome. Reboot Final Fight, make me happy. That'd make my day, that would. That would be like the best 2015 gift ever. The only shock, if anything, I mean, what are we gonna have shock? What can they do to really blow us out of the water at this moment in time? I mean, we've got 3 amazing consoles in the market with some absolutely stunning games coming out for them. We've got VR headsets on the horizon. The only shock that I can think of would be Nintendo's quality of life product that they're working on, which we still don't know anything about. If that was to be announced at E3 and it's actually something truly revolutionary, where the hell did that word come from? Yeah, truly revolutionary, that really blows us out of the water, that would be a shock, because I'm not expecting anything from that. I'm assuming it's something along the lines of like the vitality sensor again, which probably would go nowhere. But if they come up with something that really does revolutionise the way that we live, that will be an impressive shock for the so yeah, so come on Nintendo. So thanks very much, mate, appreciate them questions. Next set of questions from LFC Gamer. Happy New Year, mate. And first question is, Christ almighty, you got a lot of questions. Right. First question, how many games did you originally own when you had your PAL SNES? I don't know exactly, but I think I've said before, I had a handful. I know I had Mario World, because that came with the machine. I had Castlevania. Pretty certain I had Contra, or Super Pro Protector as it was called back then. I don't know if I owned Mario Kart or not. I really can't. And Street Fighter, I'm pretty certain I had Street Fighter 2. I don't think I had Turbo. So 4, possibly 5 if I had Mario Kart. I honestly can't remember, but I think that was it. So not a lot at all, but they're all killer titles, so that's all that matters really. And as I said before, my best mate at the time, he had a Magicom, so he used to get every game, plus he'd buy imports as well, so I used to just play them all round, you know, so I got to experience quite a lot, which was nice. As the Super Nintendo had and still has a great sound chip, especially in later games like Final Fantasy VI and any of the Donkey Kong Country games where they push the console to its limit, do you agree that the later games for the system had better music, or just from the beginning through to the end of its lifespan? I would say it's got great music from beginning to end. You look at launch titles like Final Fight, I mean that game's killer, man. Mario World, some of the greatest music on any game, on any console ever. And then you get right to the bottom end, as I say, like with Donkey Kong games, and you're just like, holy shit. You know, I mean, just all the way across, you know, Mario World, Castlevania, Contra, Street Fighter, Final Fight, Star Fox, Donkey Kong, F-Zero. F-Zero was a launch title. Look at the music on that game. I mean, it's some of the most memorable music and some of people's favourite music. And that's something else we want this year as well, Nintendo. And that's a new F-Zero game. I would say right through the lifespan of the Super Nintendo, that Sony chip really, you know, earned its money, man. I mean, the music and the sound effects in that system are just stellar. Have you ever suffered from whiplash? I've never experienced it myself, and I don't wish to. No, I haven't, and neither do I, mate. I definitely want to experience that. Thank you. Do you like American sitcoms like Big Bang Theory and How I Met Your Mother? I've never watched them, to be honest. Any time I ever watched Big Bang Theory was when I used to, in my previous job. It used to be on like in the TV in the canteen. People would have it on there, and it'd just be on in the background. It was all right. It was okay. But I don't really watch comedies anymore, to be quite honest with you. I used to love the British comedies back in the day, but yeah, not now. There's no American shows. I mostly watch. I don't know if you class them as dramas, but just the general shows like things like Arrow, Criminal Minds, Castle, Forever. What else? The Chicago PD, Blue Bloods, Hawaii Five-0. All those kind of shows, really. You know, so cop shows, detective shows, mystery shows, comic book shows, all those kind of things I want a lot to watch now. Do you remember the programme Wife Swap on Channel 4? Indeed I do. In my opinion, the American version was far superior to the UK one. Yeah, because the American version is just the American version of most things is better, because those kind of reality shows, the Americans just go right over the top, and they tend to get like the real trailer trash people who are just completely mental, and it's always a lot of fun to watch. It's just like an extension of the Jerry Springer experience, really. It's just brilliant. So yeah, I'd agree with that. Even though you prefer the Super Nintendo sound chip, do you still like the Mega Drive sound chip, if used to its full potential? For years I hated the Mega Drive sound chip because I always found it was shit. Then I found out that there was the whole thing with the licensing, and they did that. You get that message at the beginning of some Mega Drives where it gimps the sound. I don't understand it completely, the TMSS thing. And if you get original releases of the Mega Drive and Genesis with the really good sound, then they sound absolutely amazing. I still contend that while the Mega Drive's got fantastic music, I mean, you can't fault it. It's got a real nice earthy bass sound to it. The speech is always the thing that lets it down. And I think even Sega fans can admit the speech is a bit shite. You know, the Super Nintendo is crystal clear. The Mega Drive's like it's going. It's like Bane. It's just terrible. It's just. Bane's not terrible, but I love Bane, but it's that muffled sound, it's just really bloody awful. But yeah, I mean, I do like the Mega Drive sound, because I like the fact that the Mega Drive and the SNES have got distinct sounds. And the Mega Drive reminds me of the Amiga as well. I know it's got is it the graphics chip of the Amiga? I think it's got that. I'm never very good with the specs, but I think it's got the same graphics, the Motorola chip that the Amiga had. And yeah, I do like the Mega Drive. It's a great system, but yeah, Super Nintendo's got better sound there. But they both have their own merits. Have you ever played on any Konami arcade game? Yeah, I mean, you said they played Sunset Riders. Yeah, I have. I played the Turtles game, that was Konami as far as I'm aware. And I'm pretty sure I played Sunset Riders back in the day. Yeah, Konami, like, back then, Konami and Capcom, you couldn't do any wrong, man. They were the best. You know, they were quality companies. Have you ever tried cheese and piccalilli? No, I'm not a big fan of piccalilli, to be honest. Although, to be honest, I haven't had it since I was younger, so maybe it might taste better this time round. Because I have found out with certain foods that I've never liked when I was younger, I kind of like them now, they get a bit better. I went off cucumber for years, and now I can eat loads of it, it doesn't bother me. So, yeah, maybe I might, it sounds a bit weird, but I'll give it a shot. What game console have you tried to get into several times, but just couldn't for some odd reason? I always liked that with my Nintendo 64 many years ago, and the same with the 360. However, I mostly use the N64 just for Mario 64 and GoldenEye. Mine will be the PlayStation 2. I've had to check the history of that bloody machine. I'm enjoying it a lot more now than I ever have. But it's just, yeah, I think mainly just as I said before, because I really loved it when it first came out. I got it on launch and I was really hyped for it. And then the Xbox came out Halo and it was like, pfft, yeah, screw the PlayStation. And I just became an Xbox fanboy. It's just ridiculous. And so, yeah, I've always gone back and forth with that system. I've bought it so many times. As I said, it's ridiculous. Easy 20 plus times now. I'm finally settling on the system, but I'd definitely say PlayStation 2 is the one. Have you played Sonic Boom? I didn't even know it was out, to be honest with you. I avoided it because I heard so much bad stuff about it, so no, I haven't yet. Do you like Easter eggs? And if so, how many could you manage? I do. I can't eat a lot because chocolate doesn't agree with me as I'm getting older. It makes me feel like shit. It's a shame. I don't know if they're changing the ingredients in chocolate, but it really gives me a bad stomach. And it's a shame. I love chocolate. It's a bit. It's one of my favourite foods. But yeah, Easter eggs. As much as I love them, I can eat one, possibly two, but that's about my limit. And the bloody thing's just changed it. This tablet drives me nuts sometimes. Just lost my place now. Let me just find it back again. Right, okay. And Did you watch Alvin and the Chipmunks when you were a kid? I did indeed, mate. Great show. We want another fantastic cartoon to add to the list. What's your favourite Fawlty Towers moment? Probably still like all mate beats his car with the tree branch. I mean, it's a classic moment, you know, it's an iconic moment. Yeah, I thought that was really funny. But just generally, just most of that show is just quality stuff. Yeah. Do you miss seeing Ainsley Harriott on TV? Yeah, it's a good point. Where has he gone? Yeah, he was pretty good on that. Was it Ready Steady Cook? Yeah, I used to like that show. So yeah, bring him back. I don't know where he's gone. I don't know. Yeah, no, the scandal has he or anything like that. Not as far as I know, anyway. I hope not. Have you changed your hairstyle more times than David Beckham? Yeah, quite a lot. Especially when I was in my 20s, I used to just change it like pretty much weekly. You know, different colours, different styles, just whatever I felt like. I used to lose a lot of wax in my hair and everything. You know, I've ruined my hair basically from dyeing it and doing God knows what, using what chemicals on it. So that's why I've got no hair now. Well, I've got hair, it's just extremely thin on top. Do you think that Five Nights at Freddy's is a crap game? It's got so much hype on YouTube. Is that the one with the bears, where they all jump out at you? If it is, then I've never played it, but it looked interesting. I don't know, to be honest. I didn't really see what the appeal was myself, but yeah, if it is that one. Right, okay, so unfortunately we're at that time where the battery's about to kill itself, so we'll just switch the battery, guys, and we'll get back into the questions. Right, we're back. Here we go. So next set of questions are from Scribble Sam Animation, so cheers Sam. First question is, since you like Power Rangers, what is your opinion on Shuriken Sentai, I'm never going to get this right, Ninja? Oh, it is Nin Ninja, okay. Shuriken Sentai Nin Ninja. I've got no idea what that is. It's an upcoming Japanese Sentai series premiering in Japan this February. You watch the trailer on YouTube. Okay, I'll have a look at the trailer, mate, see what that's all about. What's your opinion on Dexter's Laboratory? Right, it's a 90s cartoon and I've got an idea of what it might be, but I don't really know because I never watched 90s cartoons, to be honest, mate. Sorry about that. I was more of an 80s cartoon guy. Do you have any favourite commercials from the past, e.g. Japanese, I can't even pronounce that, yeah, Sega Saturn commercial basically. Yeah, I think I've said before, like I really like the original PlayStation and the Xbox adverts, they were awesome. Some of my favourites were like the PlayStation adverts they did with that girl with this, it was supposed to be like a space alien, she's got like an elongated head. That was really cool, I love them. And my favourite one of all time is still the Xbox advert. The original Xbox advert was absolute genius. If you've never seen it, you need to look it up. In fact, I'll put a link down below in the description because it's so funny. It just cracked me up. Yeah, I'm not going to tell you what it is, but if you've seen it, you'll know what it is. If you haven't, check out the link because it's absolute genius. And do you have any favourite shoot 'em ups on the Super Nintendo? Mostly the Parodius series. I love the Parodius series. I think they're fantastic. Mainly for nostalgia, because I remember seeing them for the first time. My mate had them on import from Japan. I just love the music. I love the quirky animation and the characters. Just the completely off the wall humour. It's just a really, really cool series. Other than that, what have I played? I don't know. I'm trying to think. I've not played that many shooters. UN Squadron, what am I thinking, of course, or Area 88 in Japan. Yeah, obviously one of the best shooters on the bloody system, and I forgot about it. Yeah, that has got an amazing soundtrack, beautiful graphics. I mean, that really holds up well. Really tough little game, and I'll kick your ass, that one will. Yeah, and also Biometal was quite nice and all. I like that game. That one with the 2 Unlimited soundtrack. I'm a little biased because of the soundtrack, but yeah, that was a killer game. Okay, oh, we've got two more questions from Mr. Hewitt. And his first question is, in Mario Kart 8, I think they should do a download where your amiibo sits in the kart with you and you train it. Then you can do tournaments where you leave it up to your amiibo to drive and you spectate. Do you think this would work? It depends how you like to play games. I personally wouldn't want to because I don't like watching AI play. I want to play the game myself. But I mean, if it's something you're interested in, yeah, cool. I wouldn't say Test Drive Unlimited 2 for 360. It was unplayable because the car's handling was atrocious, but then out of the blue, they released an update to the car's handling, and then from then onwards, it was one of my favourite games of all time. I need to rebuy it. You're not the only one to do that. In that sense, I think that the disc and the DLC and updates are a good thing. On the other hand, it can make developers lazy. What do you think, in my opinion? As I've said before, I still think that the reason that happens is because publishers, especially the big publishers like Activision and EA, are pushing for a date. And because of the money involved in marketing for that date, they want to push it as much as they can. And nowadays they are starting to push games back a bit more, which is good because it gives the developers more time. And I think that's the only reason. I think basically they just think, screw it, we've got a date to meet, we want you to get that game out, get it out on that date. If it ain't finished, don't worry, we'll just patch the shit out of it later on. People will moan about it, but they won't give a shit in the end of the day because they'll be happy when the patch is done and the game works. People bitch and moan, and then they just give up bitching and moaning and go and bitch and moan about something else. So yeah, I think at the end of the day, the ultimate thing is always speak with your wallet. People won't do it, but that's what you should do. If a company consistently, like a publisher, consistently publishes games, whether it be from the same developer or multiple developers that are not working and are in bad shape, don't buy from them. Just avoid them and make it known that you're not happy. Obviously, it takes millions of people to do that in order to make any dent in sales, which is a really difficult thing. But with the media that we've got nowadays, we can all come together and do that. It's not a difficult thing. You can have a day of action, but it's unrealistic, isn't it? And that's not going to happen, especially British people, because we can't be asked to do anything. We're just like, yeah, it's a great idea. Nah, bollocks, all I've got to say. All right, thank you for the questions, mate. Next set of questions from my main man Skins, who asks, aside from the entertainment you talk about on your channel, i.e. games, music, movies, etc., what else do you like to do? Keep the answer clean, this is the family matey channel. I don't know, to be quite honest with you, mate. I mean, those are my main hobbies, because I love music, love games, and I love films, like most people. Outside of that, I don't have a lot going on at the moment. My life's a bit stuck, so I am trying to change things. I obviously like to go to movies, which is still film, but I like to go for walks. I like to cycle. Really boring, I know, but it's nice. I like to get out in the fresh air and just walk around and just enjoy this life that we have and the atmosphere and the environment. It's just nice to walk around in the quiet and just hear the birds tweeting and just get away from it all, really. Just get away from all the bullshit in the world. Because when you're connected to the internet for 24/7 and social media and just bad things are happening all the time. Something happened yesterday which was just horrific, and all you see in your Twitter feed is the same thing repeated, and it's like, damn, and it can really get you down. So you need to avoid all that shit. Just enjoy the environment, get out there, just refresh yourself, relax your body, just de-stress and get your brain clear. That's the most important thing for me at the moment. Anyway, right. So you said you don't cook, right? Yeah, that's right. Why not? Because I ain't got a clue how to. It's easy to start the adventure, and the adventure is long. Yeah, it is easy to start. I just don't know where to start. That's the problem I've got. I can do basic stuff. As I say, I can bake a spud, I can boil potatoes, and I can make an omelette. I can make a scrambled egg. All the basic stuff I can do that. In terms of actual cooking, I don't know I just don't have a clue. I don't know the starting point, and it's buying all the ingredients. And because I'm a single person as well, I'm not buying for anyone else. It's just me. It makes it more difficult because I can't have like all these condiments and all these vegetables and bloody salads and Christ knows what else, because they go off too fast. They don't last long enough, and I find it difficult. I can't just consume all this crap because I'll just get really fat. So I'm trying to buy what I need when I need it. But yeah, I mean, I do watch a lot of Jamie Oliver. And I love the stuff that he does, but and none of it looks that complicated. It's just all the different ingredients you have to own, and it's just like, man, that shit looks like a lot of work, but it's worth it in the end. But I don't know, I need to just push myself really. I need to get a cookbook and just go for it and just try, because I know I could do, put my mind to it. I'm always one of those people that just goes, oh, this might happen or that might happen. I always put myself off, and I shouldn't. I should be more positive and just go for it. Okay, and do chickens have lips? No idea. And who really pulled the trigger on JFK? Lee Harvey Oswald. He pulled the trigger. Not necessarily the only person involved in the whole situation, but he pulled the trigger. If that's all you're asking, and yeah, if you're not asking that, then obviously it's a lot more complicated answer. But yeah, on a basic level, Lee Harvey Oswald shot John F. Kennedy. Jack Ruby shot Lee Harvey Oswald. The end. But there is a lot more to it, of course. And yes, for anyone that's watching this, I am aware of all the conspiracies. I've read them all. I'm fully up to date on all of that stuff. And I watch all the documentaries. I read the bloody articles and everything. So, yeah. Okay. Okay, and Mike Jones asked me, should he buy a Wii U again? He got one when it first came out. But looking at the games now, he's tempted. I'd say it depends on the games, mate. If they're the games that you want to play, then yes, because as I've said, there were a lot of good games coming out this year, and there's a good variety of games across a plethora of genres. So if any of those games appeal to you, I would definitely recommend getting a Wii U this year. I mean, obviously you've already got games out now. Treasure Tracker's out. You've got Mario Kart 8, Mario 3D World. There's Pikmin for people who like that. There's games for people, whatever genre you're into. There's quite a few games to choose from now. The Wii U's quite nice actually. It's in a good sweet spot. And this year we're going to have tons of games. So yeah, if you've got the money and you like the look of the games and there's plenty of games that can justify the purchase, then absolutely do it. I wouldn't buy it just for like one game. If there's 4 or 5 games that really make you want to buy it, including the ones that are already out, then yeah, absolutely go for it. So cheers for that. Next set of questions from Dave Bowden, which is a new subscriber, so thank you for subscribing, Dave. His first question is, you've probably covered this in older videos, but I figured I'd ask, when did you start to collect and how did you go about it? It was around about, I'm not entirely certain this, but it's around about 03, 04, possibly 05, but I think it was 03, 04 around that time. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's right. And what happened was, previous to that, I'd been living with my best mate. And for some reason, I think it was like, we'd gotten into eBay and we were looking around at different things. And I started looking at old consoles, and I decided to buy a Mega Drive 2 and a Mega CD 2. And then I bought a Super Nintendo PAL. And we were playing that for a bit, and it was cool, and I enjoyed it, and it was nice. And then eventually, in 2003, I got my own place, I moved out. And 03, 04 was when I started looking into it. I don't know what it was, the catalyst that really got me to have a look at this. It's really strange. I can't remember the exact moment as to why I decided to do it. Maybe it was just coming from playing them with my friend. I thought, well, I might give it a shot. And then I just sort of went off and I decided when I was going to go for the Super Nintendo, because that's my favourite system of all time, I had to go for that one if I was going to buy for anything. And it wasn't even the collecting at the beginning, it was just I wanted to get a Super Nintendo again. And I decided I wanted to get them 60 Hz as well, because back in the day as a kid we were always told that 60 Hz is better, full screen, full speed, 17.5% faster, all of that. So I decided I want to get to the Japanese market because I love the box art. And I just started looking around eBay and I found a Famicom. I first of all got a Famicom boxed, immaculate, I mean absolutely pristine, from a UK company called Video Game Imports, who are absolutely fantastic company. 80 quid it cost me, boxed, mint, everything, baggies, the lot. It was absolutely crisp. I was so chuffed with it. Really pissed off I sold that now. And then I just started going around Japanese eBay sellers like Hit Japan and others that were around at the time and just buying games left, right and centre basically. I just went mental. I just basically made a list like most people do. And I was like, well, what are the games I had as a kid? Okay, get them. What are the games I played as a kid, never owned? Get them. And it just went from there and it spiraled. And then I found out about games like Final Fight Tough, which I had no idea existed at the time. And I think it was Lee at Video Game Imports that actually told me about that game at the time. I'm sure it was him that told me about it. And yeah, and I sort of went from there really, and it just spiraled from there. And I just started thinking, well, if I've got these systems, maybe I want to try that system. And because at the time the systems were quite cheap, I ended up picking things up like Neo Geo AES, the CD, the CD-Z. I picked up Panasonic Q. I was just literally buying everything that I could get my hands on because I've never owned these systems. I wanted to see what they were like. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, number 2. Will you be starting more of your gameplay videos and first impressions like the NES collection and pick-up videos you had? Yeah, that is the idea. I just put up a gameplay video yesterday, which will be 2 days ago when you watch this on Wednesday. So I put my first gameplay up. I haven't done a gameplay in a while, so I wanted to get a new one because I've had people asking me that for a while now, saying like, you're going to start doing them again. Yeah, impressions videos as well. Obviously, modern games I'll do impression videos when I complete them. Retro games with Nintendo, obviously I can't afford at the moment. Well, I say obviously, you don't know my financial situation, but I can't afford to buy a lot of games at the moment, so I can't do what I'd like to do and buy like a bulk load of Super Famicom games. So it will be a case probably, like I did with the American stuff, where I started slowing down and I'll buy one game at a time and I'll show you the game, show you the condition, and then I'll put the gameplay at the end of it. So I'll do a lot more of those as well because they seem to go down quite well when I did those. So yeah, definitely. So thank you very much for the questions. Appreciate it, Dave. Okay. The last question is from Mike Jones, and it is, do you have any resolutions? No, unfortunately, Mike, I still don't. I'm determined not to have any this year. I just want to just let the year unfold and see what happens because, quite frankly, I never stick to them. And I just want to see where this year takes me. I'm hoping it's going to be a very positive year. In fact, it is going to be a very positive year. So thank you very much, guys. Thank you for asking the questions. Appreciate it as always. If you do have a question for me, of course, just leave it down in the comments below and I'll answer those next week. The cut-off is always Wednesday evening because I do these videos on a Thursday and then post them on a Friday. So thank you very much, guys. Hope you like this video. Yeah, if you enjoyed the video anyway, give it a thumbs up, please. Share it around. Absolutely awesome of you. And if you want to see more videos, just click subscribe. And I'll see you all again next week.